President Joe Biden reversing a long-standing U.S. policy involving the war in Ukraine. Biden now going to allow Ukrainian forces to use long-range U.S. weapons inside of Russia for the very first time. CNN's Kevin Liptak is traveling with the president in Brazil. Kevin, what more are you learning?
Yeah, this is a major change in American policy, and it comes at a critical point in the war in Ukraine as Russian forces mass in the city and around the city of Kursk as they prepare for an offensive there, and as North Korea has sent thousands of its troops to fight alongside Russia in that conflict. President Biden making this decision to allow Ukraine to fire the American ATACMS missiles inside Russia for the first time. And this had been the subject of a long-running debate inside the American government about the wisdom of allowing Ukraine this new capability. There were officials who were concerned about the risk of escalation in this war. That's something that President Biden has been concerned about throughout the conflict. You also heard officials worry about the stockpiles of ATACMS. These are not resources in endless supply. At the end of the day, the addition of the North Korean troops to this conflict certainly has created a new sense of concern in Washington about where this war could be headed. It's a subject of conversation that President Biden has had throughout his trip this week in South America. He discussed it earlier in Lima, Peru, with the leaders of Japan and South Korea. He also discussed it yesterday with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, trying to apply pressure on Beijing, to apply pressure on its largest, or on North Korea, which is China's largest trading partner, to try and convince Kim Jong-un that this was a mistake and that it could put his own troops at risk. But now this decision...
Yeah, your ears did not deceive you. Joe Biden has authorized long-range missiles to be used in this Russia-Ukraine fight right before he walks out of the door. You know, and obviously this is an act of sabotage, in my humble opinion. Okay, I agree with what Joe Rogan had to say, and I'm going to play that clip here shortly because Joe Rogan talks about that as well. And this is a scary, scary moment because if this escalates to the point where Putin is backed into a corner and he presses the button, that is going to be extremely scary. When you have bombs bigger than vehicles flying over your head, it's pretty daunting, with the capabilities that we have now with these weapons. It's scary. Very, very scary. But of course, and I said this in past videos, they're going to burn the house on the way out and laugh at Trump as he tries to pick up the pieces. But let's play this clip from Joe Rogan. Let's dive in.
The world we're living in now, and that's L.A., and that's New York, and that's a lot of places that got fucked up by incompetent people.
I don't know. I just feel safer knowing, like...
Pull this microphone with your face.
I feel safer knowing that Trump is in office.
I do, too.
I feel great about it.
What I don't feel safer is right now they're launching missiles into Russia.
Yeah.
How are you allowed to do that when you're on the way out? Like, the people don't want you to be there anymore. This should be like some sort of a pause for like significant actions that could potentially start World War III. Maybe that would be a good thing that we would like to avoid from a dying former president. Mm-hmm. It's the whole thing is nuts.
I mean, look, I don't know shit about politics.
Zelensky says Putin is terrified. Fuck you, man. Fuck you people. You people are about to start World War III.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Russia fired a missile today.
I feel like they fired an intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time ever. It's the first time one of those has ever been used.
That's insanity.
It's fucking insanity because those intercontinental ballistic missiles can have nukes on them. This one didn't, but if it does, the whole world changes. And it changes because of the military-industrial complex, and it changes because of the money that's going to Ukraine, and it changes because the outgoing president or whoever the fuck is actually running the country has decided to do something insane.
Yeah,
insane. And we're all sitting there watching it, and people are cheering it on. CNN was saying, like, finally. See what their headline was about Zelensky using, about Biden giving Zelensky the ability to use long-range missiles. U.S. made long-range. It's not like nobody knows where they came from. It's not like nobody knows we've been funding this. It's a proxy war. The whole thing is fucking insane. It's insane. Come to the negotiation table. Sit down. Work this out. Stop killing everybody. U.S. allows Ukraine to use long-range missiles. So what did they say? Someone had said that, like, CNN was saying that it was a good thing, which I think is how? How has the left gone so far crazy that they think it's a good thing to launch missiles? That's what's scary about life, is like you don't want to pay attention to that. You just want to live your life. You want to just be carefree and have fun and do the thing that you're passionate about. And meanwhile, the world is burning. And
you
just
can't do
hoping
anything
it doesn't
about
get
it. It's like
to you.
at that high level, it's like there's nothing.
Well, we can. We voted Trump in, and
Yeah,
his idea is to stop all this shit, and hopefully he can do that.
Yeah.
But, man, fuck.
I get
We got 60 more days until Trump gets in, or whatever it is. How many days is it, Jamie? But who knows? Maybe once he gets in, they'll ramp it up. Who knows? Maybe they'll sabotage his administration. That's what's even more scary. People don't want him in power. And the people that are in power don't want to leave power, and they'll try every way they can to keep it. 60 days from today. All right.
On the news.
60 days.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, just hope Putin understands what's going on as well, and Zelensky doesn't do anything stupid. But saying that Putin's terrified, God.
It's like you're trying to like tug the tail of a fucking sleeping
Dragon.
Dragons.
Yeah. Also, Zelensky, can I get a drug test?
So you heard that there. And, I agree. Right? A lot of this stuff, it's extremely scary. And, he said something there at the end, and I wrote it down. He said, it's like the world is burning around you, and you close your eyes and hope it doesn't get to you, because it's just like, holy moly. Okay? All it takes is Putin to say, okay, you guys are making me look bad. You guys are making me look weak in my own country. I'm about to hit the button. And now what? Okay. We don't have deep underground bunkers to go into. And even with that, I don't know. I mean, these are extremely, extremely powerful weapons. So I don't even know if that's even safe. Deep underground bunkers are even safe, right? This stuff is just insane. Absolutely insane. And honestly, part of me doesn't believe that this is Joe Biden. And I'll tell you why. You guys remember, and I made several videos on this, but Joe Biden seemed to be sabotaging Kamala towards the end. For instance, when Kamala was doing one of her last rallies, her closing rallies, she had a rally outside of the White House. Big rally. Joe Biden decided to have a press conference at the same time that she was having a rally. He knew she was having a rally. It was right outside the White House. He was in the White House and decided to do a press conference at the same time. Joe Biden would get in front of the camera and say, well, me and Kamala, we are linked at the hip. Okay? She believes in exactly what I've been doing, and we're on the same page. When he knows that she was trying to separate herself from the Biden-Kamala administration, which is impossible, but she was attempting to. But he would come out and say that they're joined at the hip, right? So it was just like certain things that he was doing that was like, it seemed intentional that he was sabotaging, and a lot of you guys agreed, but now it seems like he's trying to sabotage Trump. But when him and Trump met, what was this, a week and a half ago? When him and Trump met in the White House, he was grinning from ear to ear. I hadn't seen Biden smile that big in a long time. Matter of fact, I want to see if I can pull that up, because that was the talk of the town when it was happening. Biden's grinning from ear to ear. Biden-Trump meeting. I want to see if I can pull that up really quick, because that was weird to watch when Biden was just, I mean, from ear to ear. Ear to look at this smile. I haven't seen Joe Biden smile that big in a long time. Look at him. Eyes all crinkly and everything. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do y'all think? I haven't seen that big of a smile out of Joe Biden in quite some time. But I also want to play this clip from Matt Gaetz, which Goodness gracious. I hate that Matt Gaetz isn't in Congress anymore. But I want to play this clip because I think he's on to something with what he says here. Check it out.
I think that the reason we are as involved in Ukraine as we are is because Afghanistan wound down. And if we still had Afghanistan to launder money through, there probably wouldn't be the need for this type of excessive involvement in Ukraine. But I think we can look at Afghanistan and we can look at what's going on here and say what a lot of these defense contractors are pushing toward is how to have an extended kind of low yield war. Like if there's a way to stretch this thing out, turn it into a 20, 30 year kind of thing where there's a whole lot of money moving around and unaccountable pots and a lot of weapons getting bought. And then, oh man, the stockpiles, well, we got to spend more money to reload those.
Think he might be onto something with that one. Y'all let me know if y'all agree. Let me know. But I also want to show you this clip from Tucker Carlson with Redacted because he's completely on point with this too. And this is one of the reasons why I don't think this is Joe Biden. This is the establishment, the people around Joe Biden, right? All the people that have been in Washington for far too long that don't like Trump and understand that once Trump gets there, this money train, this gravy train, this same old every 4 years, it's over. And a lot of their jobs are over. I believe it's them that's making this decision. But check out what Tucker says.
I am very concerned that the people who have hated Trump for 8 years and run out of ways to destroy him, indicting him, well, first calling him a racist, spying on him with the federal intel agencies, sicking the FBI on him, trying to put him in prison, then trying to kill him at least twice, probably more, actually, but at least twice. And that those people, out of options, have decided the only way to stop Trump and the disclosure that a Trump administration will bring, once again, disclosure is what they fear, having their crimes revealed, that the only way to stop Trump is with a world war. And so I've been pretty fixated on that for months, probably more than a year. I've just thought a lot about it. And I know a lot of the people involved, and they're very, very, very focused on war. Permanent Washington doesn't care about domestic policy, in case.
I think Tucker is right. I think he's right. This is the last hoorah for the establishment. This is the last Hail Mary. Can we get World War III started? Can we get it going without it being super overt? You can't completely make it overt, but we got to do enough because we don't have a whole lot of time. So they have to walk this very fine line of let's escalate it, but let's not go too far. Case in point, obviously the long-range missiles were authorized, but now there's talks that the Biden administration is talking about giving Ukraine nukes. You heard me right. Nukes. They're talking about this now. Allegedly, they are talking about this. And to be having that kind of conversation, I think says a lot. To be having that kind of conversation when Trump has said, yo, we're going to get some peace. Okay? I'm going to bring these guys to the table and we're going to end this immediately. Because as Trump said on stage with Caitlin Collins, I want people to stop dying. I want people to stop dying. But of course, you know, the establishment doesn't care because they don't have to sacrifice their own lives to any of these wars, right? Which is something else that I think needs to change. But, and I don't mean like sacrifice their lives, but if you're in Washington and you're approving these wars and giving weapons, well then either you or one of your children has to go fight. I guarantee you there'll be a whole lot less wars. Just saying. Anyway, this to me it's just clear. Like this is just a Hail Mary. We're gonna start World War III, and you can try to pick up the pieces if you want to. Good luck. You know, good luck. Like Tucker said, they tried to slander his name. They tried to throw the man in jail. They tried to allegedly kill him, right? And none of it worked. So what's the last thing that they could possibly do? Okay, World War III, right before you take office. Have fun, you know? Have fun. Which that would also put Trump in a weird position because if Ukraine sends nukes, well, Russia's going to retaliate. And now how do you talk, get some peace talks going with that? And if you guys remember, Zelensky, when he came here to America, he met with Joe Biden and Kamala. And like a few days later, he met with Trump, and his whole demeanor changed. He was all about the peace talks. Even Putin has said, "Hey, I'm willing to talk some peace, get some peace going." Now that after Trump won, so when you have these two people talking about peace, why are we escalating it? Why are we giving more weapons to them? Like, it's an act of sabotage, in my humble opinion. It's an act of sabotage. And it's honestly sad to watch because it's lives lost. It's lives lost. These men that are fighting in this war, they're somebody's brother, they're somebody's son, possibly somebody's uncle, okay? These are humans. Like, this isn't just like, on Mars where there's just a bunch of robots going at each other. Like, these are humans. These are people who have families. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All for the love of the dollar. In spite, of course. But anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts, your opinions on this. How do you think this is going to end? Do you think the establishment will succeed? Or do you think they'll fail? Do you think Putin's smart enough to understand and see that, hey, Trump will be in office in just a couple of months, literally less than 2 months. There's no point in, escalating this thing, even though it seems like Ukraine is all for escalating. There's no point in escalating this thing to another level. What do you guys think? Let me know. Peace and love. I'm out.